Welcome to episode 57 of Crosstown Cardboard with myself, Carmine at Carmine's Cards, the sports reporter down here in Greenville, South Carolina, and Craig at New York City Sports Cards, the math teacher and the soccer coach in New York City, originally from Long Island. And his sweatshirt, his hoodie for the spooky season says NYC Boss because it's the business of sports. Oh gosh. Craig, save me. The acronym for your high school.
The Business of Sports School.
Okay.
NYC Boss. Free plug for the school that I work at, which a lot of people have questions about. What is the Business of Sports School? Not going to talk about it on here, but shoot me a message, and I love talking about it because I like my school and everything that it has to offer. So free plug for the school that I work at. That allows me to host Card Club as well.
Yes, sir. The Card Club, your legendary after-school program to get the kids involved in cards. And I missed the final S, which was school. That should have been a layup, like our Knicks have missed a few of recently. And speaking of our Knicks playoff successes, we have a present from a close friend of the program and a friend in real life, Joe DeMango at Joey D's Cards. We have two presents if you're watching on the Crosstown Cardboard YouTube. Finally coming in almost 6 months after our New York Knicks beat his Cleveland Cavaliers. And that was our bet. The team that won, the other guys were going to buy a gift for the opponent. Of course, our Knicks beat the Cleveland Cavs 4-1. Easy win, easy work for, over the Cleveland Cavs. No, just kidding. It was actually pretty stressful. But so we have those gifts to open from our boy Joey D. But episode 57 is titled, as Craig comes up with 90% of our titles, it's called We're Game Used Guys. Me and you and a lot of our listeners love the game used cards, don't love the player worn, don't love the not affiliated with any game or event. That's our least favorite. So, Craig, why did we want to title this episode all about the game used cards to start off?
So we have conversations with ourselves, with others, game used, player worn, not associated. And I think you and I are pretty similar. We want the stuff to be game used because, first of all, that's just cool. The fact that the player wore a piece of this uniform in the game.
Yes.
You know, who knows what game it came from, but, you know, part of collecting brings you closer to the game, and that's one way to do it. Yep. But over time, I've really started to shape my collection around game used cards. So I want to talk about why and like where that came from. Like we have these conversations, these debates, but for me, it's way deeper than that. It starts when I was like 8 years old.
Yep.
Collecting as a young kid. So the origin of why and how and when I got into game used cards and how it's kind of stuck with me to this day.
Yeah, let's do it. So I have a great story about that too. And, you know, back in our day when we were kids, you know, about 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago when we were, in elementary schools and coming up, everything was game used. So what was your experience that you want to travel back in time to tell us about?
I guess right where it all started. On Long Island, part of living on Long Island, bunch of shopping centers, right? Everyone's got their nearby shopping center. They usually had some variation of a supermarket, Chinese spot, pizza spot, a bank or two, bagel store, and some sort of stationary 50% off card store. Cards meaning greeting cards. But for me, that meant packs of baseball cards. So we're talking the year 2000.
Okay.
And one day I opened a pack of 2000 Upper Deck baseball. I was 8 years old. This was 2000. I was at the 50% off card store at the shopping center down the street. And I pulled this thick card. And I remember seeing it in the pack. And I was trying to peel it apart because it was thick. I thought it was cards stuck together. And it ended up being this Derek Jeter game used baseball that I still have to this day. Still in the screw down from 23 years ago. And wow. I recently looked it up, and the odds of pulling those were 1 out of 288 packs.
Wow. Of any player, not a good player.
Any player. So I got this Derek Jeter piece of the game used baseball, and I'm pretty sure, I think that was my first exposure to game used cards, right? Because they started in 1997, but between 97 and 2000, there really wasn't a whole too much to it.
Right.
But that kind of started my affinity for it.
Wow.
And okay. Anything you want to ask up until this point? Because this is a good story.
So this is a game used baseball.
Yes, a piece of the baseball.
Okay. Does it have any indication of what game it was used in?
No, and it doesn't even say it was from him. Derek Jeter game used baseball, and they just
He
said
may
it was
not have.
new.
He may not have even put his mitts on that. I mean, his mitts is in his hand, not his baseball glove.
Fair. On the front of this game card is an authentic piece of game used baseball used in an official major league game. Was it from Derek Jeter? I don't know. Point remains, it was, in fact, as the title indicates,
Right.
game used. Game
Right.
used.
Right. And it was in a game that Derek Jeter was a part of. So,
We hope.
but most importantly, that was the first game used card that you pulled from a pack.
Yes, that is correct.
All right. So I remember my first game, and you still have it, and I still have the first game used card I pulled from a pack. I've been trying to track it down. I'm sure I have it. I mean, I put it away somewhere safe, but I still remember going to the CVS, going to the back, kind of by the pharmacy in Ossining, New York, buying a couple basketball packs when my mom was across the street in the supermarket, the Food Emporium at the time. And I remember walking up to the Food Emporium, opening the pack of I want to say Upper Deck basketball, but it was the one that had the East Coast and the West Coast, the blue and red. And I'll find a picture. I'll pull it up here on the Crosstown Cardboard YouTube. And I opened the pack, and like you said, it was thicker than usual. So I'm like, okay, this is interesting. The East Coast, Michael Jordan on the Wizards. The West Coast, Kobe Bryant on the Lakers. And I remember opening that card, and I'm like, because I used to never get anything out of packs. And they have a bunch of duds in this set, like East Coast, West Coast. You look on eBay right now, most of them sell for $2, and that might include shipping. So I got the Kobe and Jordan, the best duel out of that entire set. And I remember like holding it so tight, going to meet my mom, like in the Food Emporium, not trying to bump into bananas or, asparagus, get that thing nicked up. And so, what a thrill, though, to actually pull a good card as a kid out of a pack and have it be game used.
Especially because game used cards weren't that easy to pull.
Right.
I remember because that, first of all, amazing story. And you still have that card.
Yes, still have it.
Amazing. You'll never get rid of that. That's a grave card.
No. Right.
But yeah, so then from like 2000 to let's just say 2003, those next 3 years, that's the kind of stuff I like to collect, game used cards. I remember there was a product called Pacific Private Stock. I think it was 6 packs per box, and every pack would have a game used card in it, a bat, a jersey. And I love getting packs and boxes like that, and they were relatively affordable then. I remember you can get a pack for probably $10, and it had a guaranteed game worn jersey card in it.
Yeah, and those are super cool. And we have other examples, and I know you have a recent example of a game use thing, but this thought just came to my mind. Is it strange, just as a hobby in general? I mean, I think because, things are so accepted over time that it's just like, okay, well, we like to collect autograph cards. We like to collect pieces of jersey that a guy wore in a game. Is it strange that we have like pieces of, like, imagine if me and you played in high school, which we did, and then went on to be very successful Division III athletes. I mean, what a career. I mean, we could have a whole podcast just about that. But would you find it strange if some 30, 40, 50, 60-year-old guy had a piece of your material that you wore in a game in a card and like considered it a really awesome collection piece? Do you think that's strange, or is it me, kind of overreacting to it?
Definitely overreacting to it. I mean, if you felt that way, then I don't even know what we're going to say at this point.
Yeah. Should we just cut it off now? No. I do think it's interesting if you don't think about it as like an accepted thing that people collect. You're kind of like, okay, well, so this guy wore it, got sweaty in it, and then you put it into a card, and now you cherish it.
Yeah. I guess it's more of the concept, but then like things started to progress and grow. And that's what led me into just beyond just the basic little swatch, which by the way, hobby pet peeve real quick. If it's a single color jersey, it's not a patch. It's just not.
Right. Right.
But moving on.
No, tell me the phrase that's always a good way to distinguish a patch from a jersey.
Well, I guess good time to bring it up as I say how patch cards became my thing, like 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
I forgot whose podcast it was. If it's attached, it's a patch.
No, if it's not attached.
If it's not attached, it's not a patch. But the same idea.
Okay.
Right? Anything that was stitched on, added onto a jersey, that is a patch.
Yes.
Even if
it's attached onto the original jersey, it's a patch.
Even paint.
Like the letters. Right. Right.
The paint, right? Because it was added on. I can make that argument for the patch.
Yes.
Too.
Yes. You could. Yeah. Yep.
But they were very tough to pull. Very tough. As hard as like jersey cards, although those started to become more like you can get one per pack. Patch cards were tough to pull. So
Yep.
in comes 2004 Fleer Patchworks, which was a product that I really liked growing up.
Mhm.
Guaranteed one game worn patch card per box. And I'm like so excited. I've never had a chance to pull one of these like 3, 4 color patches.
Yeah.
A box that guarantees one per box. I'm in. I'm sold.
And they were guaranteeing a patch, not a jersey
Patch.
card.
That is correct. Hence the
Okay.
product Fleer Patchworks.
Right. I remember that set.
And I remember vividly, it was a Brett Boone, my one patch in 2004 Fleer Patchworks. It was a Brett Boone single color dark blue patch. And
Okay.
man, I was disappointed
Okay.
because I was anticipating this multicolor, something I'd never gotten. So I wrote a letter into Fleer about my disappointment.
Wow.
Never heard back.
How old were you writing a letter to them?
11.
Okay. Wow. Good for you. Standing up for yourself.
What can I say? Never heard back. It's coming though. They'll get back to me at some point.
Well, it's like the Panini redemption speed. It's kind of like 10 years down the line, Mahomes has retired, and your second year Mahomes redemption gets filled.
Yeah, one day they're gonna give me a 2004 Fleer Patchworks multicolored patch replacement.
Mhm.
I'm excited to see what it's gonna be. Very disappointed. Fast forward a year, 2005 Fleer Patchworks, and that's where
Okay.
things got exciting.
Okay.
First box that I got of that. These were $75 a box. I remember going to the Levittown flea market. I know Tri-County Flea Market it's called. We're gonna have listeners who know that place very well.
Okay.
You go down like up the escalator. It's very exciting.
Okay.
Um,
The escalator is exciting.
it's like the escalator brings you into the card area, so it's like
Oh, I see.
it's like the
Like
stairway
a
down.
big reveal into the area.
Yeah, if you just pass like the purses and then like the hot dogs and pretzels and you just go up the escalator, boom,
Okay.
card heaven. So buy boxes of 2005 Fleer Patchworks, $75. My dad and I would go. Great tradition.
Okay.
The first box I got of that, I pulled a Kurt Schilling 1/1 MLB logo game one patch.
Whoa.
Sold it on eBay for $86. I regret it. I wish I still had
Ooh. Wow. Okay.
that. There was another in that same box. I'm pretty sure it was a Manny Ramirez.
Wow. Wait a minute. So even back then, one of the best cards you can get in a box only went for slightly above what the box itself went for, like a 1/1 logo patch of one of the best pitchers of the time. I mean, I'm sure like some of the sluggers and the hitters went for more, but I mean, Kurt Schilling at that time was probably, right up there, Cy Young conversation, one of the top pitchers in the MLB. And you only profited $10 off the box price for a 1/1 logo. That's interesting.
Can't remember if the box might have been 50, but
Mhm.
I'm very certain on that price. I remember it well.
Okay. It seems like prices of the best-selling cards that you can get and the price of the box is kind of consistent. I mean, I know that's a small sample size, but just interesting to track that.
But between one box I opened, 2005 Fleer Patchworks, my favorite product ever. If there's one box I could open right now, it would be this. Between the two boxes that I opened, maybe a month or two apart, I pulled that 1/1 logo. I
Yep.
pulled a Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz dual game worn, single color jerseys, but one player on the front, one player in the back, which
No,
is
that's
such a
cool.
cool concept that you don't really even see anymore.
And plus those guys, I mean,
Teammates.
the two hitters of that era for the Red Sox.
Right. I pulled a Dontrell Wills and Josh Beckett, same thing, one on the front, one on the back. Marlins, think like those nice green Marlins colors, nasty
Yeah,
patches on both sides.
that's nice.
And there was an autograph in there, Miguel Cabrera. That's what I got between those two boxes.
Wow, okay.
That led me to do a little bit of research. Did you know Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum have been teammates for how many years now? 6, 7
Yeah,
years?
probably around there, yeah.
A Tatum Brown dual game one or any jersey card has never been made.
Wow, that's interesting.
How is that possible?
I don't know. They both are averaging over 25 a game, so you would think that would be, kind of obvious.
Yeah. So what happened in the era between this 2005 that I'm talking about and now that they don't exist? Teammate, relic cards.
Well, a lot of the stuff isn't even game used, so I guess you get 2 player worn. I mean, but it is no matter what. You would think that, yeah, I would have bet that there would be something made involving those two in a patch or a jersey situation.
Yeah, but I know it's kind of a dragged on story a little bit, but 2004, 2005 is when I really started to ramp up, like liking these nice aesthetic, multicolor, jersey patch cards, and then it
Mhm.
has kind of just stuck with me ever since. And it's always been something that I've collected, and A lot of my personal collection that I've shared on here that you know of includes that type of stuff, the Knicks stuff I
Mhm.
get. And as I look through my inventory, that's just my stuff that I have today. It's kind of come full circle. And this is the type of cards I really still enjoy collecting and picking up. And it's what I've been
Yeah,
doing. It's been a lot of
yeah.
fun.
And there's fewer and fewer being produced with the game used element to it, so it makes it even more fun to chase those down, and especially to collect the really cool patches. Like I've shown before on the show, but might as well bring it up again. The Magic Johnson, flawless patch that I have that I think is the bottom part of the S in Johnson, and then another one. I don't know if I've shown this one on the show, but shout out to your Mets. This 1 of 1 Leaf Museum Materials game used. I want to say maybe glove or kind of a logo piece of the jersey of Tim Tebow for your Mets when he almost fulfilled a second dream of his, and so that's kind of cool. So those were just 2 patches that kind of stuck out to me. I have a few more here, but so what brought this up for you again that you wanted to make it this week's topic in particular?
Well, first of all, shout out to the country of Poland because there's a lot of great basketball card collectors over there.
Okay.
I don't know. I found myself on Facebook. I bought a couple cards,
I've
and
done that too from Poland a couple times.
Poland.
Yep.
Poland is where the basketball card collectors are at.
Yeah, and Australia. Lots in
Yes,
Australia too.
he did. The person I got it from today mentioned that as well. But I just found myself finding cards that I think are cool at the right price. That stuff that I want to have out at shows that will attract other similar things.
Okay.
For example, look at this Draymond Green.
Ooh,
It's like a die cut from the Panini Lux.
that's
So
cool.
Panini Lux is a nice looking product to me, and it looks
Yeah.
to be like the RR from Warriors, maybe,
Yeah. Yeah.
or maybe it
Or
doesn't.
it could be 8, maybe AR. No,
Whatever
but
it
you're
is.
right. You're right. I'd say it looks like 2 R's back to back.
Yeah, so Draymond Green, double letter out of 25, die cut game worn.
That's pretty cool. That reminds me of my JJ Redick that I have here. This
Nice.
National Treasures game used patch with the auto part of my JJ PC.
You know, I'm bringing back to the point you said about like, is it weird that we're just collecting these chunks of someone's shirt?
Yeah.
I think it's the aesthetic. I think the multiple color just kind of stands out. It just looks cool.
Oh, it definitely does, and it brings you close to the game. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
it's a memorabilia item for sure.
Like, do you know what size Tyson Chandler wore in his uniform?
Quadruple XL.
Close, because according to this 2013-14 Panini National Treasures, Tyson Chandler, game worn tag out of 5, he was a 3XL.
Or are you sure that's not an 8XL?
He,
No, I'm just kidding.
yeah.
Could you imagine? This guy was
Look at that.
8'2".
So
No, yeah, that makes sense. Okay, triple XL. He was skinny, but what was he? 6'11". So
yeah,
two defensive players of the year you got right there.
Tyson Chandler. A fun fact about him: loved his tenure with the Knicks. That's why I picked up this card.
Yeah.
Second team all defense, but defensive player of the year. Make that make sense.
Who was first team that year? Marc Gasol.
Can't
Check me.
remember. You keep talking, and I'll fact check it.
Okay. If I'm right about that, I really feel like a hoops guy. And with the NBA season starting up again, interesting time to take some bets. On who you think is going to be, potentially a sneaky guy this year. I think it could be a cool time to get into some Porzingis. I mean, I got a rookie auto from Porzingis, which is in my Knicks PC, Revolution rookie auto. And what are you shaking your head for?
Dwight Howard.
Oh, okay. All right. Dwight Howard was a defensive stud back then, so I respect it. So, it could be interesting to what do you think about our boy Porzingis? Maybe going with that if you were trying to buy low and sell high. I mean, I know we don't really talk about that very much, but it could be an interesting time because last year with the Wizards, he averaged like 24 a game, 8 rebounds. I think he shot like 50% from the field. He's a legit scorer, especially on a team with 2 other options in front of him with Tatum and Brown, the aforementioned in this podcast. So could be he could have a breakout winning season.
It is interesting you make that point because we hear people prospect the young guys, Chet, Paolo Banchero, but you don't hear about people discussing like what's a good who could really break out this season. Not that we're on like the flip side of, we do. Hey, I bought a Walker Kessler rookie card, so
Yeah. First team all rookie, wasn't he? All
yeah,
star? Was he an all
yeah.
star?
A little prospecting is kind of fun. I was at the
Yeah.
card shop. I didn't really love anything, but I didn't want to walk out of there empty-handed. So picked up like a Walker Kessler Chronicles rookie out of 10.
Yeah. Have
Something.
a little fun,
Have a little
diversify the
fun.
portfolio.
Have a little fun.
It's a small part of the pie in the portfolio. And then you got guys like Bradley Beal who are heading into an interesting situation on the Suns, who could be a winning team there, but I just think they have too much offense and hardly anybody else with KD, Booker, and Bradley Beal. But and then Chris Paul, now on the Warriors, could they return to another title contender and have Chris Paul win his first NBA title? That'd be a big legacy booster.
Fun.
But
The NBA is fun. The storylines write themselves.
Yeah. Ja, he's going to be coming back, so his cards are in the toaster along with Zion. So if Zion stays healthy, he's a probable MVP candidate. But apparently he's been taking his diet seriously this time.
That's what
so
they
we'll
say.
see. We'll see. When healthy, he's like 26 points, 10 boards, 60% from the field.
Easy.
And local to this area of Spartanburg, South Carolina, about 20 minutes from me. So, could be. But it is an interesting time with the NBA about to start back up, though. I agree.
Yeah, going to be very fun. But look at some of these. All my inventory has turned into game one patches because that's kind of stuff I like. That's what tugs at the heartstrings and what I want. My inventory to look like if I ever set up. Look at this Mellow. You ever see this one on the Thunder?
Ooh, yeah. I think you showed me that one. That's cool. That's cool.
Tiago Splitter. Little gold.
Tiago. He was. He must be an NBA champ. He was a center on that team against the Heat when they kept going back up against the Heat with the Spurs.
2004, 2005. We referenced those years. I referenced them today. A great era of collecting. Ultimate collection. Jermaine O'Neal. Real chunky game one patch out of 10. Jermaine O'Neal threw me a towel at a game at Continental Airlines Arena that I still have.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Shout out to Jermaine.
Yeah, good guy.
He was a great big man at that time with those Pacers teams that were, Eastern Conference problems. Malice at the Palace also.
And hey, you want to know why it's fun to collect these types of things? Because, in theory, these could have came from a jersey he wore the day he threw me the towels.
Yeah, it could.
It's possible.
You'll never know, but you can always tell yourself that. And another cool part of the game use situation is matching up storylines. Like imagine you had the same year of that, but you had like Ben Wallace also, or like Ron Artest, Ben Wallace. Like we talked about for our card ideas a couple episodes ago, kind of make the story come together of like the Malice at the Palace in that situation, or with these extra exquisite versions. And I know I've showed these before, but they're too good not to show when you talk about game used cards. You got the one that's Bill Russell, extra exquisite with the diamond formation, the 4 pieces of actually for him, it's a warm-up shirt with the wool. And then you have the Wilt Chamberlain, same set, also game used from the jersey. And then I remember buying the Wilt after I bought the Bill Russell at the Burbank show. And I got the Wilt, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome that they match up, same card of the two Celtics and Lakers big man rivals. And then somebody pointed out, wait a minute, they're both numbered 9 out of 25. So they're the same exact serial number from the same set of the two guys. And, you just look at those two cards together, and it just makes the story come together and give you a little piece of basketball history that you can reflect on right in your showcase or in your card case as well.
I think that's why you precisely like collecting Bird Magic cards as well.
Yep. I love sports rivalries in general, which I know a lot of people do, but it just brings out another ferocious, passionate, electric element. It means more, Duke and North Carolina, Michigan, Ohio State, situations like that, or Giants, Patriots, if you're talking Super Bowls, which we know how that turned out.
That all ties Yankees. It all ties into the custom card ideas that you could custom dual autographs. Isn't that crazy that as long as they've been teammates, no company or set or product has had a certain teammate's dual card of some sort.
Yeah,
Autograph, game worn. That seems
I
like
know.
a
I
lot of
feel like
people
there's
like
there
that.
maybe there's some contractual restrictions with that. It just seems like too obvious to not do. I don't know why that wouldn't have been done.
Yeah, maybe someone who knows more about that than we do. Leave a
Yeah.
comment.
Yeah,
Why can't that happen?
educate us in the comments if anybody thinks of that and lets us know. And by the way, shout out to so many people and I don't know how the feedback was with you, Craig, but I know I got at least 10 Instagram DMs of people saying congratulations to you and Craig for the 1 year anniversary of the Crosstown Cardboard podcast, and saying what they've gotten from our episodes, and even if it's just relating, even if it's disagreeing, just appreciating that we didn't miss a week for a year straight. Clearly, this is a hobby for us. We're expressing ourselves, we're putting our thoughts out there, and just trying to connect with different people and keep growing the hobby in a positive way and offering whatever we can based on the experiences that we have. And I just thought that was so cool that people were happy for us, and proud that we kept it going, and just had a positive exchange that they're at least getting something out of our show.
Yeah, we have a very loyal audience. I appreciate that. Those who follow.
Hmm.
It's been good feedback. And hey, listen, not a week missed. Over a year now.
I know.
We make it
I know.
work. But it's also easy because we like doing this.
Yes, that's exactly right. I think the thing that separates the game used cards for me also, like if it's a great story, like the Celtics and Lakers with Russell and Wilt. But I know I've mentioned this before, but if it has a full or obvious piece of the letter, like here with this Kevin Durant immaculate premium patches numbered out of 25 from 2013-14 year, and it's an auto, and it has a clear piece of, I think it's the K, but it could be kind of different letters maybe turned around. It could be an upside down ending piece of the R. I'm not sure, but it has a clear piece of the letter from the jersey. And I don't know if you remember the DeMar DeRozan letter that I had, and then the Magic one that I showed in this episode. If it has a clear piece of the letter, like the Bird 1 of 1 flawless that I have, like clearly that's a piece of the letter. I would love if you could really see what letter it was, but that just elevates it into another stratosphere, I think, as far as, you got your game used. A lot of people call them napkin cloths
Napkin.
if they're all
Yeah.
white, the napkin. Game used, just the standard one color. Then you have the patch, which has, like you said, something attached to the jersey, whether it's a piece of the shoulder, top, connecting to the neck, a painted on lettering, or the actual patch, sewn on piece of the letter. So, and then after that, I think you enter another area where you can clearly see what letter or what number, get an idea of that. So I think there's kind of 3 levels to the game used aspect of it.
And unfortunately, they just don't, for our taste, everyone likes different stuff. They
Yeah.
just don't make cards like this anymore. And this is the type of stuff that I like.
Yep.
So luckily, I think there's been enough made from the beginning of this hobby till now to keep us entertained for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. Thankfully, we can still discover the older cards. It just doesn't have to be, like you said, stuff that's currently printed. So what do you think? Should we open our present from Joe Domingo? You go first. You go first. And again, while Craig's unboxing, just to recap real quick, this is a bet that me and Craig, being Knicks fans, made with Joe Domingo, Joey D's Cards on Instagram, one of our good friends. We got to hang out with him at National. I know you've hung out with him at Bleecker. And hold on.
Yeah,
And so
no.
Joey D's a big Cavs fan, Cleveland Cavaliers. We're big Knicks fans. So we made this bet in the first round of last year's playoffs. And of course, the Knicks won 4-1. That happened April 26th. Joey D said, I'm trying to find the perfect card for you guys, so I'm not going to rush this sucker. And nearly 6 months later, we now have come full circle, and we have our present from our bet. So, Craig, what do you got there?
Well, my prediction, and it ties into one point I wanted to make. You talked about how the different patches can tell stories. For me, I have this. I don't have it with me, but it's actually this card right here.
Okay.
Right there.
Here, I'll change the view so that you can
zoom out
see
for
it.
a little bit, but it's the Walt Frazier, Bernard King. And
Yes.
what's cool about it is you see the different colors, even though they're both orange and blue and white, because
Yeah.
you see how the different tint of the orange has changed a little bit over time with the Knicks. I
Yeah.
think that's really cool. And my prediction is, I don't like to zoom out. Get back, go back, go back,
Okay.
go
Sorry.
back,
Sorry.
go
Let me
back.
get
Zoom in.
producing. I'm producing it. Go ahead.
So my prediction is, and I feel it's in a one touch. So
Okay.
I think,
Okay.
I think it's going to be a Knicks patch card. We'll see.
Is this going to be a game used for Joey D to come full circle and tie it into the episode?
I see something shiny. What's it
Okay.
going to be?
Okay.
Oh, I like this.
What do we
I like
got?
this. And I'm going to tell you why. Oh, okay,
I'm
that's
going
pretty
to tell
good.
you what. Tell me
Oh,
what it
that's
is
pretty
first.
good.
Tell me what it is
Oh,
first.
yeah. He did really good. He did really, really good.
Oh, wow.
He
Is
did
that
really
Shumpert?
good. It is. And of course, it's game one and it's gold out of 10. Let me tell you, and I
You
don't know if
dirty dog, Joey D. You dirty dog for tying it into this episode. Great choice.
I wish the gold came out better on camera, but you get
Yeah.
the idea. Let me tell you why this is especially good.
Is it out of 10?
Yes, it is gold.
So it's an Amon Shumpert gold,
It's perfect.
orange and white
Perfect.
patch,
Perfect
numbered out
gift.
of 10.
Perfect
Select.
gift. Yes.
Nice.
2016. Perfect gift because when he was a rookie, me and
Mhm.
my friends, when we were home from college, we went to a Knicks game. 18, 19 years old.
Okay.
Home from college for the summer? No, whatever, winter break it was. Crushing Four Locos on the LIRR.
Ooh,
And
four locos.
that
Let's
was,
leave those in the past.
yeah, that was the time then. Went to a
Yeah.
Knicks game. I remember we made like this Iman Shumpert cutout, like a fat head almost.
Okay.
Well, I made it. I thought it was so cool and just like hung it up. And then me and like my three friends, that picture got featured on the New York Knicks Facebook page,
Okay.
holding the Iman Shumpert fathead. So if you
Wow.
go to my Facebook, scroll back, you'll see that photo. So here we are. I really wonder if they
Wow.
knew that or not, but perfect gift. Iman
Wow.
Shumpert, chunky patch,
Yeah.
gold at 10.
He was fun with that backcourt with him and J.R. Smith. And
Yeah.
when Shumpert, before he got paid by Joey D's Cavaliers for, I believe it was 4 years, $40 million. And that was when I was like, the NBA was starting to get more money and more money. And I said, if Amon Shumpert's making $10 million a year, these guys are getting paid crazy. And I think that's kind of when he lost his fire a little bit for defense and started getting more into fashion and that kind of thing, which is nothing
Won a
against him.
championship.
But what's that?
Won a championship.
Yep. He left our Knicks and won the title with Joey D's Cavs. So
Great gift.
that's a cool gift though, because it incorporates both of our teams.
And as you open that, I again from Poland, I picked up 2 Patrick Ewing patch cards today.
Wow. Okay.
But I'll let you know when those come in a month. Let's see
Okay.
your
Yeah, in a month. That's exactly right. No, it really takes forever sometimes
From
with
Poland.
those.
But let's appreciate the fact that you could put a piece of cardboard in a little baggie, ship it across the world, and it ends up in my home. Like that's
Right.
like when you just zoom out, that's pretty cool. That we could even make that happen.
It is cool, and I've thought about that.
So
From
shout
Australia.
out to Cousin Oz for being a part of that process.
Oh yeah, the People's Mailman.
Mailman.
Right.
There you go.
That's our boy, Cousin Oz. No, that is crazy though. I have thought about that, and I'm like, it reminds me of like Harry Potter with the owls, like Hedwig. I'm like, shout out Hedwig and Cousin Oz for getting this to our doorstep.
Yeah, I didn't have the same thought, but I respect it.
Okay.
There we go. Prediction.
I got Joey D's situation here that he sent us. I think it's gonna be a Steve Novak game used patch. I don't know why I just thought of Steve Novak.
No chance that exists.
The discount double check. And did he not lead the league in 3-point percentage one year?
I could believe it. He was playing
like
in the Garden.
He was like 50% from the 3-point line one year, I thought.
Oh, he was part of that year, that 2011, 2012 year.
Yep.
Good times.
Yep. And he's like 6'9". Great range. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. It's Channing Frye, RPA.
Nice.
It's a Channing Frye, SP Authentic, RPA. So, as most people know, rookie patch auto. So, it's got the auto, if you're watching on the YouTube, kind of horizontal, the 3-color Knicks patch. And so, we got our thumbnail here, Craig, that will.
Let me turn off the green screen so we can get it proper.
There you go.
Great gift.
Numbered out of 1,299 back in the day.
All right, here we go. Boom.
for the YouTube thumbnail. Got it.
That's a good one. Okay. Great gift.
So it says authentic piece of a patch of a jersey worn by Channing Frye at the 2005 NBA rookie photo shoot. I always like those because there's only one jersey, I would guess, or maybe they switched them off multiple colors, but there's like one or maybe a few jerseys only from the rookie photo shoot. So that's kind of cool. You can trace it back to the exact moment. So awesome gifts from Joey D's Cards, our boy, worth the wait here for a Channing Frye RPA SP Authentic and a Naman Shumpert Select patch at a 10. So and ties in well to the game used guy theme.
I make the exception for game use for rookie stuff like that, event worn, photo shoot. The LeBron exquisite RPA is from photo shoot, I think.
Yep.
I hope I'm right there.
Yeah, I think that's a great point with the exception for the rookie photo shoot, because I have Marshawn Lynch Beast Mode rookie Reebok logo from the Buffalo Bills. And I got this at the National. Actually, I was with our cousins, Oz and Tony, when I got this. And it says, the jersey was cut by an authentic jersey personally worn by Marshawn Lynch on May 19th at the 2007 NFL Players Rookie Premiere. And this is National Treasures. So, like you said, I agree. If it's not game used, game worn, rookie photo shoot, I also like.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, like what you like. This is what I like.
Yep. And if it doesn't, if it's not your steez, then do what floats your boat. If it's not, no shame, as long as you're able to figure out, what you like and go with it.
If it don't apply, let it fly.
I think one of our good friends has used that before, and keep it in the wolf pack.
Yeah, cool. That's all I got for you today on patches.
Yeah, no, that was good stuff. And you picked up a couple at the National too, with the Larry Johnson and Charles Oakley for our Knicks. Too
nice.
Whew, those were nice.
Not to be slept on the Lionel Messi. It was a 2-color jersey patch. I don't know. It was a piece of paint kind of that was attached. So who's to say?
Well, if it was attached, it sounds like a patch.
You have to just end it on that punchline.
All right, bro. I think being game used, it's a little bit. It's kind of a bit of a lost art with the, new cards being produced these days. But some of them that are now game used that are coming out, worth even more, harder to find.
Yep.
So maybe we'll come back with the Fanatics takeover. They'll take some of our card suggestions and get the game used aspect in there a little bit more again.
There's also an element of it, and I'll leave it on this because it's a whole nother topic. What about all these new people who enter the hobby who only see the new stuff?
Yeah.
How could you get them introduced to the stuff that has been produced over the last 20 plus years? Something to think about.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, good point. Hopefully by maybe picking up our podcast or telling a friend that, hey, there's two guys. They're pretty down to earth. They like the game used stuff, and see what they got. Give them a try.
Boom. I'll see you next week.
All right, bro.
Peace.